This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is precisely 1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Chandima Veerakorn. Headlines. The government aims to create a mechanism to solve the issues of the state sector. Media Minister praises the services of the SLBC. COVID-19 infections registered in Sri Lanka surpass 32,000 mark. Sri Lanka Air Force showed their colours in UN peacekeeping mission in the Central African Republic. Sri Lankans will be able to witness the Geminid meteor shower, considered as one of the best annual meteor showers tonight. The UK minister tasked with leading UN climate talks says world leaders are failing to show the necessary level of ambition. The first semi-final of the Lanka Premier League will be played this evening. Local stories in detail. The government aims to create a mechanism to solve the issues of the state sector. Minister Janaka Bandara Tennakon says that the support of the International Labour Organization will also be taken in this regard. The cabinet approval has also received in this regard. Many previous governments tried to create a proper mechanism, but all of them failed. The main aim of the new mechanism is to solve the issues that occurred at the state sector services such as health, transport, ports, petroleum and other sectors. Media Minister Keheliya Nabukkala says that the 95 years journey of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation is tremendous. The minister said that during the past 10 decades, the SLBC was able to face all the challenges and it is a great achievement. Speaking at a ceremony held at Rajaratha Sevaya with the 95th anniversary of the SLBC, the minister said that his aim is to create a plan to develop the SLBC by gathering all the resources. Addressing the occasion, Chairman of the SLBC, Jagat Wickramasinghe, said that the SLBC always works to produce creative output for the benefit of the listeners. He added that the SLBC has always acted in accordance with the people's needs. Director General of the SLBC, Chandrapala Liyanage, said that SLBC has become an institute which provides a wide array of creations, policies and ideologies. The state radio has acted from history to create the thinking, shape and the uniqueness of the society. COVID-19 infections registered in Sri Lanka surpassed 32,000 mark. As per the epidemiology unit data, the total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed in the country to date now stands at 32,135. 17,425 PCR tests have been conducted yesterday alone. Around 6,800 persons are now in quarantine at 67 centres run by the Sri Lanka Army. 149 COVID-19 deaths have reported from Sri Lanka so far. Meanwhile, several areas in the Kahatagasdigilia town in Anuradhapura have put under isolation status after a person tested positive for the COVID-19. All shops in the Kahatagasdigilia will be closed for 3 days from yesterday. Sri Lanka Air Force Aviation Unit serving in United Nations peacekeeping duties in Central African Republic has been recognized for their contribution to intelligence, surveillance and rescue operations following a rebel attack on a village that left more than 2,000 people displaced. The officials of the United Nations Multidimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in the Central African Republic commended the efforts of the Sri Lankan Aviation Unit by giving recognition to the readiness and professionalism extended for the launch to create a safer place for more than 2,000 internally displaced people. On 1st December 2020, The Keshe village in Boromata was attacked by Arab Massyria Janavids, which left almost the entire village guttered with fire as most of the grass-thatched houses were burnt down. The village was located more than 100 kilometers away from the nearest UN compound, and the ground troops took more than 3 days to reach the disputed location due to the rugged road conditions. Sri Lankan Aviation Unit's number 62 flight deployed in MINUSCA joined the mission to assist Zambian special forces to restore peace in the Boromata area in the eastern sector in the Central African Republic. The mission was to create a safe haven for the IDPs that counted more than 2,000 and heading up and locate armed elements that can hinder peace. Sri Lankans will be able to witness the Geminid meteor shower, considered as one of the best annual meteor showers tonight. Head of the Department of Physics at the University of Colombo, Professor Chandana Jayaratne, said the Geminid meteor shower will be visible until the 17th of this month. He said it will be visible on dark nights from 10 p.m. Professor Chandana Jayaratne added on a dark night near the peak, the public will be able to witness 120 or more meteors per hour. Professor Chandana Jayaratne also said the meteors of various colors can be witnessed throughout the night and therefore said the public should be stationed to observe the phenomenon. He advised stargazers to lie flat on their backs in an area without much tree covering or light pollution and allow about 45 minutes for their eyes to completely adjust to the dark. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Buy anything you please with a People's Credit Card from selected outlets with zero interest.
Continuing with the local stories, the General Manager of Railways, Dilantha Fernando, said that steps will be taken to deploy all office trains for service from tomorrow. The Railway Department has decided to run several trains today. The General Manager of the Railways, Dilantha Fernando, stated that the train services will cover all major railway lines, including the Coastal Railway line. Arrangements have been made to run a limited number of trains over the weekend. To end the local bulletin of news, the headlines again. The government aims to create a mechanism to solve the issues of the state sector. Media Minister praises the services of the SABC. COVID-19 infections registered in Sri Lanka surpassed 32,000 mark. Sri Lanka Air Force showed their colours in UN peacekeeping mission in the Central African Republic. Sri Lankans will be able to witness the Geminid meteor shower, considered as one of the best annual meteor showers tonight. The UK minister tasked with leading UN climate talks says world leaders are failing to show the necessary level of ambition. That ends the local news.
Buy anything you please with a People's Credit Card from selected outlets and pay it off within 36 months with zero interest. More details at www.peoplesbank.lk.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
On the main news story, Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena raised concerns about the use of children in terrorist propaganda activities, adding that it would lead to children and youth being radicalized. During a meeting with British High Commissioner Sarah Halton and Canadian High Commissioner David McKinnon this week, Minister Gunawardena spoke about the mutual concern of security of countries, particularly the increasingly visible activities in the past few weeks by non-state actors engaged in the glorification of terrorist acts of the LTTE, including suicide bombers. Early this month, a couple was arrested with a Claymore mine on a bus flying from Jaffna to Kandy. Police revealed they also had their child with them during the arrest. Later, the couple divulged the police about a hand grenade that was buried. That ends the main news story.
The main news news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the businessmen say that distributing of trade stalls at a new Manning market is being carried out unsystematically. They point out that there is some problem of providing one stall for them. The businessmen also pointed out that it is an injustice of the initial payment of 400,000 rupees charged by a businessman. They request the relevant authorities to mediate this problem to give a speedy solution for them. Moving on to world news, the headlines. First round of US COVID vaccinations to begin tomorrow. Hundreds missing in Nigeria after raid by gunmen. Not enough climate ambition shown by leaders. The US public will start receiving the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine from Monday after it was authorized for emergency use, officials say. The first 3 million doses of the vaccine would be shipped across all states this weekend, said General Gustav Perna, who is overseeing distribution. The vaccine offers up to 95% protection against COVID-19 and was deemed safe by the Food and Drug Administration. On Saturday, the US recorded a daily toll of 3,309 COVID-related deaths. The figure, reported on the Johns Hopkins University website, is the highest total in a single day anywhere in the world. Hundreds of students are feared missing after gunmen raided a secondary school in northwestern Nigeria. The attackers arrived on motorbikes and started shooting into the air, causing people to flee, witnesses said. They targeted the government science secondary school where more than 800 students are said to reside, in Katsina State on Friday evening. On Saturday, the military said it had located the gunmen's hideout in a forest and exchanged gunfire with them. The outcome was unclear, but officials said there were no reports of students being injured. The UK minister tasked with leading UN climate talks says world leaders are failing to show the necessary level of ambition. Alok Sharma was speaking at the conclusion of a virtual climate summit organized by the UK, UN and France. He said real progress had been made and 45 countries had put forward new climate plans for 2030. But these were not enough to prevent dangerous warming this century, Mr. Sharma explained. Taking place on the 5th anniversary of the Paris Climate Agreement, the summit heard the UN Secretary-General warn that every country needed to declare a climate emergency. Around 70 heads of state and government took part in the meeting, which was organized by the UK, UN and France. They outlined new pledges and commitments to curb carbon. To end this World News Bulletin, the headlines again. First round of US COVID vaccinations to begin tomorrow. Hundreds missing in Nigeria after raid by gunmen. Not enough climate ambition shown by leaders. That ends the world news. Moving on to development news. State Minister of Money and Capital Market and State Enterprise Reforms Ajit Niwad Cabral said the government in its budget 2021 anticipates a 5.5% growth rate and perhaps even a higher rate next year. He said, if we act together prudently, we can realize a growth even higher. Since we have got used to the COVID-19 situation, we will successfully deal with all areas next year to ensure a sound economic growth. That ends development news. On sports news, it's cricket, boxing and soccer. On cricket, the first semi-final of the Lanka Premier League will be played this evening between Colombo Kings and Galle Gladiators at Hambantota Suryavava grounds. The match will commence at 7 p.m. Stay tuned with the SLBC to get the ball-by-ball live updates. On boxing, unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua mixed power and patience as he knocked out Kubrat Pulev to bolster hopes that a historic fight against Tyson Fury could soon be a reality. The British heavyweight smashed home a hard right hand in round 3 that forced his mandatory challenger to face a count and then sent him to the canvas with an uppercut seconds later. On soccer, defending champions Real Madrid inflicted a first defeat of the season on La Liga leaders Atletico Madrid to move within 3 points of the summit. Casemiro's 15th-minute header from Toni Kroos' corner gave the Hots a deserved lead at the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium. Dani Carvajal's excellent second-half strike from outside the box rebounded off the post and in off the back of Atletico goalkeeper Jan Oblak. Real climbed to third, while Atletico remained 1 point above Real Sociedad. On business news, airport operator Heathrow has said it will keep Terminal 4 closed until the end of next year as the pandemic continues to affect travel. The company said passenger numbers at the airport fell 88% in November as travel restrictions and a second lockdown took their toll. Based on forecast and current traffic, it said it would extend the closure of Terminal 4 until the end of 2021. Heathrow shut the terminal in May during the first national lockdown. It led the airlines such as Air France, Etihad and KLM to moving to Terminal 2. That ends business news.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And on economic news, oil surged above $50 a barrel on Thursday for the first time since early March as hopes of a faster demand recovery after the release of COVID-19 vaccines offset a huge rise in US crude inventories that showed there was still ample supply available. Britain began vaccinations this week and they could start as soon as this weekend in the United States. Canada on Wednesday approved its first vaccine and said initial shots would be delivered starting next week. That ends economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, on the weather report, mainly fair weather will prevail over most parts of the island. However, showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in Sabaragamuwa, Central and Uva provinces and in Kalutara, Gaul and Mathura districts after 2 p.m. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in Western, Sabaragamuwa and Uva provinces during the morning. That ends the weather report. To end this bulletin of news, the headlines again. The government aims to create a mechanism to solve the issues of the state sector. Media Minister praises the services of the SLBC. COVID-19 infections registered in Sri Lanka surpassed 32,000 mark. Sri Lanka Air Force showed their colours in UN peacekeeping mission in the Central African Republic. Sri Lankans will be able to witness the Geminid meteor shower, considered as one of the best annual meteor showers tonight. The UK minister tasked with leading UN climate talks says world leaders are failing to show necessary level of ambition. The first semi-final of the Lanka Premier League will be played this evening. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. With the time reading 35 minutes down 1,